Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent and teaching instructor. Welcome to my YouTube station. Today I'm going to be talking about what happens if you just don't file your tax returns. I get that question asked many times. Anyway, I'm a former agent. I worked at IRS for a decade. I was a teaching instructor at IRS. I'm a national expert. I've been in private practice for 40 years. Many of you have come to me, have seen me on the national news, on Fox or ABC or NBC or CBS, Newsmax, News Nation. Anyway, I have a whole team of former IRS agents and attorneys on staff. Anyway, welcome to my YouTube station. Today, I'd like to talk to you about what happens if you just don't file your tax returns. What's going to happen at that point in time? So that happens, that people just don't file their tax returns, and many people want to know when and if IRS will catch up. They haven't caught up with them in a long time. Is this going to continue? When's the hammer going to drop? When are they going to get on and knock on the door? What's going to happen? Well, part of the reason they hired all these former IRS, these new IRS agents, is to track down a lot of people that haven't filed. There's many functions these 80,000 agents have. Half of them are just going to go to systems and answering the phones. The other ones will have a 10-year phase-in, and some of them will be assigned these non-filer programs and making sure everybody files. When's that going to happen? I don't know. They're starting to phase in now, but remember, this is a 10-year phase-in. Anyway, let's go back to the situation that we have. If you haven't filed, when is IRS going to come after you? Are they going to do that? What's going to happen really at the end of a given day? Well, first of all, there's no definitive way to say when and if. Many of you who are looking this as well, they haven't filed, it caught me in a long time. Well, IRS can do two things. IRS can either, a revenue officer can actually summon you to come in and prepare your returns. That's one thing that they can do. Or IRS just can prepare your returns for you. Now, I had somebody who called the other day that said, hey, I haven't filed in 10 years. All of a sudden, I get a bank levy. And I says, well, how'd that happen? He says, I don't know. So we pulled the transcripts up. IRS had already filed for them, and they didn't even know. So you may want to check your IRS transcripts just to make sure IRS didn't file for you. You could do that at irs.gov. It's safe to do that. You could just create your own portal and go in. Some of you may be too scared, but IRS can prepare your tax returns under 6020B of the Internal Revenue Code. Let me tell you, nothing's going to happen if you haven't filed if you now file. IRS just wants you back in the system. In all the years I've been doing this, IRS has never audited them. You're not going to jail. You're not going to prison. IRS just wants you back in the system. So if you need to get back in the system safely, you can contact us. We'll get your returns filed. With whether you have records or not, we can reconstruct those. But just to answer your question, at some point in time, you are going to file, and there's a very safe way to get back in the system. You can give me a hit. My information is below, or you can just continue to do what you do. The IRS will, but IRS will run you down at some point. Thank you for listening. Please give me a subscription. I certainly appreciate it. Thank you.